Hi, my name is Debbie Suey, and this is my Behavioral Characteristics of ASD video journal. When the visual schedule or task does not match up with my student's perception, she can show her displeasure by yelling, saying mean things, hitting, kicking, and potentially eloping the area. In the past 2 weeks, she has exhibited yelling, saying mean things, and hitting. She has not tried to elope the area. The student has an environmental learning support aide who is assigned to her, and the aide is trained in dealing with behaviors and de-escalation techniques. Her aide is perfect for her situation. The adults in my classroom know that as soon as my student starts exhibiting behaviors, they automatically block the doors. Fortunately, I only have 2 ways to escape my classroom. The primary SDC teacher at my school has 4 exits from her classroom, and she only has 2 aides in there. So it's a lot more harder for her to manage that situation if there's an eloping behavior. This school year, most days, my student does not have the behaviors to elope. The previous year, that was her go-to, is to elope the classroom. Fortunately for me, coming in this year, they moved my classroom to the back of the school. The previous year, and I don't know how many years before that, the middle SDC teacher was located at the front of the school, and one of the exits to her classroom led out to the parking lot. Not a good design for having special ed students who elope. My student can get unsafe with her hands and feet. When these unsafe behaviors occur, typically her environmental learning support aide, or ELS aide, will try to use de-escalation techniques. The aide will validate the student's feelings, and she will attempt to get her to begin breathing calmly. And if my student doesn't start breathing calmly, the aide will begin breathing calmly herself and doing self-talk to model what needs to happen. At times, this works. Other times, it doesn't. And then my student can become forceful and push. The aide reminds my student that she needs to have a safe body, safe hands, and that she may not hurt or touch an adult in a mean manner. She also reiterates that if the student would go towards another student in the classroom, but that typically does not happen with this student. It can take a while to get my student back on track and ready to learn. I think 3 days ago, we had an hour and 45 minutes of a behavior where the environmental learning support aide would kind of corral the student so she would not elope the room. My student has learned that she likes having that barrier placed there because she feels safe. But on the flip side of that, my student will often show remorse for her behavior, and she will initiate to get a hug from either her aide or someone near her, but we do not give her the hug that she's wanting, and the cuddling, the loving of her, until she has completed what she needed to do or what she was avoiding. This is one of the most drastic behavioral characteristics of ASD that I have seen in the classroom. I have another student of mine who is more severe, and I am in a mild to moderate classroom, and this particular student should be in the moderate to severe classroom. But he has gotten this one thing that he likes to do. We've got the hashtag blocks from the Target Dollar Spot. He loves playing with those, but he also loves to drop them on the floor, and he enjoys picking them back up and making sure that they are all where they're supposed to be. It's just become a ritual with him. He also can display behavioral difficulties when things don't go the way that he wants them. He has support outside of the classroom, and it is a different environment than in the classroom. We are trying to get him to write his name in the space that's provided. The OT specialist wants him to have a 1-inch lined paper for him to write on. He has the tendency to go back over his letters, and he will also color in his letters that have loops in it. If there's like a lowercase e, he will color in the loop part of it. When he does his I, a lot of times he will dot the I and then make it bigger. We're trying to work on having him only make one line when he is doing his writing and not going back over again. And when anyone is working with him, his aide or me or another adult, he shows his dislike of us wanting him to do it correctly. With hitting is his huge thing that he does, and when he does the hit with the scratch. The aide who works with him also has the Kevlar kind of sleeves that she wears with him, because his scratches are sting when he does it. I don't know how he does it, but that's what it feels like. It stings after he does it. He also has attention-seeking behavior, and right now what we're doing is we're ignoring it up to a point. Then once it gets a little bit much, then I will, with authority, go over and tell him that he needs to stop doing that and he needs to get back to work. That's what his aide, who is an ABA aide, what she is wanting to do with him. I tend to go with what the specialists have for my students. If I see another way of doing something, I will talk with the specialist, talk with their aides, and then we will come up with a plan to possibly do something else to see if we can't get the behavior to stop. This has been my video journal for behavioral aspects or characteristics of ASD. Thank you so much for listening.